So today is day 2 of order of operations. So we're going to continue everything that we did yesterday and just keep practicing it more and more today. So just as a reminder, you are allowed to use a calculator at any time on the problems where you think it's just a little bit too big for you or you can't remember exactly what that math fact is. It's okay to use your calculator. Just as you're using that calculator, make sure that you're being very careful about what you punch into the calculator so that you have accurate answers. So just a quick review to get us started. The order of operations follows along with the little saying, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. The P stands for parentheses or grouping symbols like brackets and braces. Always do those things first. Second, we have E for exponents. So if we have an exponent of, let's say, 2 to the 4th power, we would have to solve that by going 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which would be 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So solving our exponents like that. If it's, let's say 5 to the 3rd power, it would be 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25, and 25 times 5 is, oh my goodness, 25 times 5, I had it, it's 125. I'm almost positive on that one. Okay, so 125. So I just paused while I was making this video and double checked that, yes, 25 times 5 is 125. So 5 to the 3rd power would be 125. Okay, so there's how you look at your exponents. Step 3, we have 2 things happening at once. It can either be multiplication and division or division and then multiplication. Doesn't matter which order you do them, but you have to do them from left to right. Okay, and you have to do all multiplication and division or division and multiplication from left to right. You do all that before you can do any adding or subtracting and adding in whichever order. Just work from left to right as you do those operations last. Okay, so today we're just going to go through and we're going to look at a bunch of practice examples because we're going to go through this lesson and then you're going to have a bunch of practice that you need to do to just make sure that you're really solid on this skill. Okay, so here's our first question, and if we look at this, I'm over at the side, I'm going to write out our PEMDAS so we can cross out things as we go. Okay, so step 1 is parentheses. There are no parentheses, so check, we're done. Exponents is second. Oh, we have exponents, so that's what we're going to do first. So I'm going to copy down everything else. 20 divided by 5 times 3 plus, and I have to do 2 to the 2nd power, which means 2 times 2 or 2 2's. Okay, this is one of the only exponents where if you would take the base times the exponent, it is the exact same answer. So this 2 times 2 equals 4. So when I solve that, we have 3 plus 4. There's our answer for 2 squared or 2 to the 2nd power. So we're done with exponents. There are no more. I look for multiplication, division. Going from left to right, I see division, and then I see multiplication. So if we're going left to right, I need to do division first. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. Copy down times 3 plus 4. Okay, we're still on the multiplication, division. I have multiplication next. So I'm going to do 4 times 3 is 12. Copy down plus 4. Multiplication and division is done. And then our last step is adding and subtracting. There's only one operation left. So we're going to solve that. 12 plus 4 equals 16. Okay. So looking at the next one, if you're doing this video at home, I need you to stop, write this problem down on your triangles, your papers of triangles in your packet, and I want you to try to solve it. When you're finished, hit play again. I want you to pause, solve it, hit play again, and check your answer with the video. Okay, guys, so here's what you should have done as you solve this. Okay, so we have parentheses. Okay, so I have brackets and parentheses this time. So the rule is to start on the inside and work our way out. So we're going to have inside parentheses first. So I'm going to copy down 5 squared plus, and the bracket 6 minus, and we're going to solve 2 times 3. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. And then I'm going to copy down the bracket on that side. So the parentheses disappeared, but I still have the brackets. Okay, so I'm not done with parentheses because I still have those brackets. So I'm going to copy down 5 squared plus, and then I'm going to solve this part. 6 minus 6. Well, 6 minus 6 is 0. So I'm going to put a 0 right there, and parentheses are now done. My next step is exponents. So I do have exponents. I have 5 squared, and 5 squared is 5 times 5. So when I solve that, I get 25. So I have 25 plus 0. Exponents done. There is no multiplication division. The only thing that's left is the adding. There's no subtracting. So 25 plus 0 is 25, and that is our final answer. Okay, so we did parentheses and then brackets in order for step 1. Then we did exponents, and then we skipped over step 3 because there was no multiplication division, and we finished with addition, 25 plus 0. Okay, hopefully you got the right answer there. Same thing for this next one. I want you to pause, solve it, and then come back and check. Just as a reminder, whenever I smash a number up against parentheses, that means multiplication is happening right there. Okay, so go ahead and pause and solve. Okay, guys, so here's what you should have done. We have parentheses first. There are no exponents, and then we're going to do multiplication division, and we're going to wrap it up if there's any adding and subtracting. So we have parentheses first, so I have to put a 3, and that's smashing that times, so I'm going to put the times sign, and then I'm going to solve the parentheses. 6 minus 2 is 4. Parentheses done. There are no exponents. There is multiplication, so we're going to do that next, and I end up with 12. Boom, there is no adding and subtracting, so this problem is finished with 12. Okay, if you're having trouble with any of these, you need to send me an email and let me know that you're not getting these answers correct as you're going through it, but you need to make sure you're following the steps. Remember, these notes and how to do this is in your math folder on the papers that I sent home with you. Okay, looking at this next one. I see parentheses, I see exponents, I see some subtraction. We got quite a few things going on. So we're going to start with parentheses. We have 16 divided by 8. So I'm going to copy down 4 to the 3rd power. Minus, we're going to solve the parentheses. 16 divided by 8 is 2. Parentheses are done. Next, I have exponents. So I need to do 4 to the 3rd power, which is 4 times 4 times 4. I have 3 of them. So I have to solve this. If you can do it in your head, that's fine. If you want to use a calculator, that's fine. If you want to write it all out with paper and pencil, that's fine too. So we start with 4 times 4, which is 16. And then we need to figure out what 16 times 4 is. So if you can do that in your head, that's awesome. If you need to use the calculator, that's fine. If you want to write it out and do 16 times 4 this way, I don't care. But when you solve it out, your final answer should be 64. So doing the exponents, we have 64 minus 2. We have no multiplication division. So our last step is 64 minus 2, which is 62. Boom. There you go. Final answer is 62 for that one. Okay, so we're going to switch gears here. Now we don't need to solve. Now I'm telling you what the answer is, but I need to figure out where do the parentheses need to go so that I know what step to do first to get the answer that I want. So I want to get the answer of 48. So I have to figure out, should my parentheses be around 15 minus 3, or should my parentheses be around 3 times 4? My parentheses tell me which part I'm going to do first. So what do I need to do first in order to get the answer of 48? So since I have it there right now, let's just do that one. Do it this way with it around 3 times 4. So if I put it around 3 times 4, I have to do that first, which means this is 12. And then I have 15 minus 12. Is 15 minus 12 going to equal 48? Well, when I do 15 minus 12, I get 3. And 3 does not equal 48. That symbol right there in the middle means not equal. It means does not, like I'm crossing out the equals. It does not equal 48. So I feel like I did my math right. So let's check and put it around the other operation and see what happens there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we end up with 48. So now I'm putting it around 15 minus 3. So I'm going to do that step first, which 15 minus 3 is 12. Bring down the times, bring down the 4. So if I solve this, will it equal 48 or won't it? Well, 12 times 4, 12 times 1 is 12, 12 times 2 is 24, 12 times 3 is 36, 12 times 4 is, hey, it's 48. So in this case, we did put the parentheses in the right place so that when we do that first, we end up with the answer we wanted, 48. So this perfectly is equivalent or equal on both sides. Let's try another one of those. I know you see 3 here, but I'm only going to do the one that has the star next to it. If you want to pause and try the other ones and figure those out, that's totally fine. But let's look at this one. So we have 17 minus 8 minus 5. So I have 2 choices. I can put it around the 17 minus 8, or I can put it around the 8 minus 5. But I have to pick which place to put it to do the math first to equal 14. So I'm going to start here. Okay, so if I do 17 minus 8 first, I'm going to get 9. And then bring down my minus 5. If I solve this, am I going to get 14? Nope, I'm going to get 4. So putting it around 17 minus 8 is not going to work out. So let me try it around the other one and see what happens, the other operation. So now I'm going to put it around 8 minus 5. So that means I'm going to do this part first. So I'm going to copy down 17 minus, and then 8 minus 5 is 3. If I do 17 minus 3, do I get 14? Yes, I do. So the correct answer here is putting the parentheses around 8 minus 5. Okay, so for those of you that paused and tried the other two, here's where the correct answers would be. So for this first one up here, sorry, my marker's not working, you would have to put it around 2 plus 5 because you would need to add that first and then do the multiplication and then subtract 30 minus the answer of 28 for when you multiplied in order to get 2. So this is the only place where you could put parentheses in order for that to end up equaling the answer of 2. And then down at the bottom, you would have to put your parentheses around 3 plus 1 because that's the only way it works. So I would have to add that first to get 4. And then I would have to do 10 divided by 2 to get 5, and then 5 minus 4 is 1. So that is the only place to put those parentheses to make that true. And putting those parentheses in is important. That shows you understand what has to happen first in order to get a certain answer. Okay, if I would put it other places, I get different answers. But when I know the answer, I've got to figure out where to place that. Okay, guys, so that is the end of the lesson. You're going to have some practice work you need to do, so check your stream, check your assignments, and figure out what you have to do in order to finish up for day 2. Okay, see you later.